Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join three Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Love Hotel, Season 1, Episode 8, the season finale. This one is called Checkout Time, which is very appropriate.
There you go.
Yeah, I was surprised at the end to see who was still with people and who wasn't.
I was too.
Mm.
We start out with Shannon on the couch, where we left off last episode, where she was very upset and she was getting ready. She said, I literally want to walk right out. Because Earl was talking about.
How dare you?
Yes. She said, before I went to dinner, I asked you how St. Petersburg was, and you said it's not hitting there. Earl kind of looked surprised when he saw how upset she was at what he was saying. And he kind of backed off a little bit. And Giselle said, well, did you express this to her? And Shannon said, no, he texted the guys, not me. And that's what happened. Like, the guys knew what was going on. And Joel asked, how he communicated his hurt. And Shannon said, he didn't communicate it. He left the room and he didn't communicate it until the next morning. And then it was too late.
Right.
Yeah, and I think Shannon was like, how am I supposed to know the trajectory of a hurricane? Or Giselle said, that's not what he wanted. But he thought she should have known that he wasn't okay. Well, how's she supposed to know that you're not okay? She's known you for 2 weeks, for crying out loud.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, she doesn't know you like that. You have to tell her you're not okay.
Right.
And I believe that if he did, she wouldn't have went out with the girls. She would have stayed with him.
Right.
Which is what
I
we
thought
said.
Giselle broke it down for him very well, though. Giselle broke it down for him very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She's definitely has the most brains in the group. I'll tell you that. And it was interesting.
Giselle?
Yeah. As he said, sometimes you need that partner to see just that difference from you being happy to just a little off. So that's what he was saying he was expecting from her. How do you expect that from somebody that you just met? That's foolish. What are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. She doesn't know him like that yet.
No. And why would you expect somebody to know that about you? That's just stupid.
Yeah. And they asked him, like, why didn't you tell her? And he's like, well, I didn't want her, she was out with her friends. I didn't want to ruin that.
Okay, so then you just ruined her night
Seriously?
later, ruined her day next day because you told her you weren't,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just stop. Make it make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then then Shannon and Earl kind of like go off a little on their own and they sit down together. And, he says he hated seeing her on the couch crying. And Shannon's like, listen, I didn't come here to cry. And I don't blame her. She didn't go there to cry because that's what Luann keeps saying. Love Hotel. You don't come to Love Hotel to cry. Like, this is where you go to find love.
She does get very defensive, though, when somebody like points something out to her. She does get very defensive. And I'll tell you this. I don't think that she was wrong. Like, I think that Earl was in the wrong here, but her castmates have accused her of playing victim on OC, and I can see why.
I can see it. Yes.
Yeah.
I can see it.
And I don't think that she was wrong here. I think that Earl could have communicated better, but I could see where you could say she plays victim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
They're talking and Earl's like, oh, well, let's just table this crap. No, so we're going to table your crap and just have fun. Like, it's to like total avoidance, like no apology, just like, it's just like,
he
what?
probably realized like everybody's telling him he's wrong.
Yeah.
He must have been wrong.
Yeah.
So he better say, all right, you know what? Let's talk about this later.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Okay.
We have to talk about this now.
Let's
in it.
It's like, okay.
He's like, fuck, I must have really been wrong. Nobody's sticking up for me.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I thought it was funny when they hugged on the couch after they agreed to, just kind of have fun. And Shannon's like, oh, my Spanx are showing. He's like, oh, I left my Spanx in the room.
Yeah.
So then they all go back to the couches again, and then Joel announces the men that are not chosen for the overnight date must leave the hotel today. And Giselle was like, wait. I love that she spoke up right away.
I
I
love
love
she
that
Yeah,
she
made it.
because
did.
obviously whoever gets picked for the overnight date and everybody else has to go home, that's who you're picking.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it was not set up well, but I do love how Giselle just like made up her own rules. She's like, "Oh no. This is how it's gonna go."
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And don't you think she did that so she could avoid the overnight date? If she has to split her night into two with two different guys, that gets her out of having an overnight with anybody.
Well,
Absolutely.
I
Smart
mean,
woman.
Joel
Mhm.
said, "Okay, you'll have a brunch." He actually didn't she said, "I'm gonna
Well,
split my."
that was because Ashley picked Wale for the overnight, but she wasn't ready to say goodbye to Ralph. And he said, okay, we'll give you a brunch with Ralph. But Giselle got 2 dates in the same night.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
slick.
she did.
She's slick.
Yeah.
He is slick.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so like we just said, so Giselle got Phil and Theo, and then Ashley got Wale and Ralph. That's, those who her choices were. Joel asked Luann who she's going to choose, and she says, well, wait, before she answers, James says, before you choose, I'd like to give you something. And he gives her this gift, which is this, she calls it a statement necklace. I call it a gift shop special.
It
Yeah.
did look kind
I
of
mean,
gift shopping.
I mean, where else
I mean,
would he have gotten it,
I would
quite honestly?
I would
I mean, unless Amazon was delivering there, which very well could be, but
but she loved it.
she sure did love it. She's an easy please, Luann.
Yes, she is.
So she
Steal
chooses
something for
James.
her, give her a gift. It's good.
Maybe he stole it.
So then Shannon said Shannon's next. She talked about that her and Earl would, continue their conversation and see if they can make things better. So Earl's going to stay. Giselle says in her confessional that Shannon and Earl should not have this much conflict. And everyone agrees to that because they've only known each other a couple weeks. Like, this is not the kind of conflict you have with someone that you just met. It just should
You could
not be that
argue
difficult.
that they just fell quick and have very strong feelings for each other because otherwise, why would they care about the other one so much? But yeah, it's just too soon to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So they say goodbye to Mitch and Mark.
Who has
Which
a vest
Mark gets
on
to boot
again.
again.
He's got the
Mhm.
vest on again. Still with the
Listen,
vest.
cousin Gina sent us a video of Mark doing his thing on his Instagram.
Does he have a
He
vest
really
on?
is a handsome guy.
Mm-mm.
No,
No
he's
vest?
appropriately dressed. And that was my comment back to cousin Gina. I can't believe he's not wearing a vest. And she said, this is what I'm telling you. He's like a different person. And it's just so funny to me. She's been following him for a couple of years, like way
Yes.
before Love Hotel.
Yeah.
He really is a handsome guy.
No, he is. He is. And I think if I was following him, like she had been on Instagram, I would have thought, oh, God, this is a good guy. But then to watch him on the show, it's like, no, not so
Yeah.
good.
No.
Not so good.
Yeah.
So then we see it's 18 hours until checkout time, and Ashley and Wale are walking down the docks to get on this beautiful yacht for their date. Giselle and Phil are going to the sea spa, and they're doing these salt rubs. Giselle's rubbing the salt scrub on Phil. I thought that was very awkward.
It was
I'm
very
just
awkward.
saying.
It was awkward. And then him with his
Right?
it was like his energy talk. I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
Yeah.
And the no implants talk. I was just like, no.
Yes,
No.
yes. Yeah, I thought it was awkward. I really did.
Think he's had some body work done. Do
Ye
you?
Yeah.
I think he's
I
had
mean,
lots
how
done.
old is he? And listen, God bless him.
62, I think.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, listen, I mean, unless you're on some kind of supplement, I don't know if you can get that body at that age, no matter how you work out or, I mean, but God bless him because he looks great.
Yes. If you like that look. Yeah.
Yes.
So Phil toasts to Giselle, to us, our new journey and limitless love as friends and a lot more. And
Mhm.
Giselle cheers to that, and she likes that.
They did seem to have some chemistry.
I don't know.
No?
I thought that they had a good friendship chemistry, really.
Yeah.
That's my vibe. I think that she would like to go hang out with him in Bel Air. I think she'd like to go I think he'd be a good bud for her. I think he'd be a good wingman for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he's love material for her. I just don't. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Giselle asked Phil if he told his son about her, and he said no, but he will. I think that's kind of telling too, right?
But
Yeah.
is he talking to his son while he's there? Like, isn't his son old enough where he's like, listen, I'm going to go shoot this show for 2 weeks.
Right.
I'll
See
call
ya.
you when I get back.
I think his son is old enough, yes, that he doesn't need to talk to him, but
He's
if
probably not calling him or talking to him.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
She
what
wants to know, like,
Wendy's saying is if you meet somebody who just really is just like, rocks your world when you talk to
yeah,
your kid, or you
You might mention it.
like, holy shit, like I met this girl and blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Yeah.
right.
But you know what? Men don't do that, to be
No, we're
honest, now that
thinking
I'm thinking
girl
about
wise.
it. If it was a mom, she may tell her son or her daughter more than likely her daughter. I don't even know that a mom would tell her son, to be honest with you, because I can't imagine Luann's calling up, Noelle and, what's her daughter's name?
Victoria.
Victor I can't imagine that she's calling them up. Unlike
Every month.
Shannon, like, I know Shannon is talking to her daughters every day, and she's
Right.
giving them the blow by blow, but that's
Of
just who
everything.
Shannon
Yeah.
is,
Right.
That is who
right?
Shannon is. Yes. Yes. When they went horseback riding and she was like, I grew up with horses. I forgot. Shannon grew up like
Wealthy.
wealthy.
Yes.
I forgot about that. But we did learn that basically her first season
Mhm.
on OC. She grew up with money.
Gene the Machine was a provider.
He sure was. She doesn't talk about her mom. Did her mom pass?
I don't know. Like you said, she doesn't talk about her mom.
She really doesn't talk about her mom.
I don't know that
Like
story.
at all throughout the seasons.
Yeah, I know nothing about her mom.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So Luann and James are sitting down to eat, and they're at a restaurant, and Luann starts talking French to the waiter, and
Who is Swiss, but speaks French.
Mm-hmm.
she asks James, how his French is, and he says, "Good."
It doesn't have to be. He lives in Hawaii.
Exactly.
And what does he
And
do?
then you talk.
I don't remember. What does
That's
he
a
do?
great question.
We don't know, but I mean, is he retired? No, he's not. Is he retired?
I don't know.
We
need
don't
to
know what he
Google that.
does.
'Cause I'm
We'll
just
look it up.
Wait a
curious.
second.
Like,
Wait a
what does he
second.
do? What does James do in Hawaii? Just curious about that one.
Okay, look it up. Let us know what he does.
Yeah.
Let's see what's next. So
If we had a producer, somebody could be. I love when I'm
Yeah.
listening to Two T's
yeah, and the
and Tamara's
producer.
like, what does James from Love Hotel do? And then they start talking about something else, and Tamara's like, he blah 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 blah. Like
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know, somebody's doing that. For
Somebody
her.
looked it up.
I think
He's
everyone
an
has to produce.
entrepreneur and an author. He also works as a podcast host and theme songwriter. He's also known for Bravo's Love Hotel. So he's an entrepreneur, an author, and he's on a podcast, and he's a songwriter.
Okay, well he's
Okay.
busy.
He is a jack of all trades.
There you go.
I guess
Hopefully
so.
master of one.
He actually seems to have a lot of free time, though, because
Yeah.
well, we'll talk about
Yeah,
that
well,
later.
because
Yeah.
we find out on Watch What Happens Live, which we'll
Yes. So Wally is talking to Ashley on the boat, and he said he didn't think that he would be there. Like he didn't expect that. And Ashley
he
says, "Well,
slipped and said, "I love you."
yeah." Ashley says, "Well, do you actually like me?" And he's like, "Well, I love you." And then he was like, "Well, I mean, I don't think he meant it like I love
No,
you.
I
I
don't
think
think
he
it
meant
no.
it not like James meant it. Like I think
No,
he just
yeah.
meant it like, yeah, I love you. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I love hanging out with you. I love
Yeah.
being with you. I love
Yeah.
yes.
yeah."
And
And
I
then
could
Go
have
ahead.
done without the whole oyster slimy vagina combo. I could have done
Yeah.
totally without that.
That's what was
I
next.
didn't
the
need that
oysters.
in my life.
Like the conversation,
I
right?
didn't need that in my
Yeah.
life at all.
No, I totally agree with you because I like oysters and it's an acquired taste but yeah, I don't need
Yep.
the conversation that went along with that.
And I don't need a conversation where those two words are together. Slimy and vagina. No.
Right.
Don't put them
No woman should ever want to hear those 2 words
No,
together.
no.
Or man, for
No
that
one
matter.
should ever hear those 2 words together. I'm just saying.
Nope. I totally agree.
Completely, I'm right here with you. Next.
I third that.
Luann is talking to James and she's like, her voice is kind of raspy. She's supposed to be singing a song tonight.
Luann said she was
Yeah,
supposed to be singing a song tonight?
that's what she said. Yeah, and I'm thinking, where is she singing a song? At the
Where
Love
is she
Hotel?
singing a song?
I mean, is
Yeah,
this
Is
a
it
she
cabaret?
karaoke night?
No, it's
Yeah,
supposed
she
to be
doing
cabaret.
cabaret night at the Love Hotel? But, like,
I don't
you
know. I don't
couldn't
You know what?
know.
I want
take
to
a day
do a
off?
Luann song in karaoke.
You do?
I
Feeling
do.
Giovanni? Which one you want to do?
I don't know. I'm going to find one and I'm going to do it.
All right. So Luann asks James if he would like to get married again. And he said, well, that would be something like if it would work. Like it's not that something that's on his list, but she said she wants someone who lives the same lifestyle as she does. And then she's concerned about the distance, because he is in Hawaii and she is in New York.
Does he travel a lot? Did he say if he travels a lot?
He did say that he travels. He did say that. And he also said that, she asked him, would you move? And he said no. He flat out said no. And he said, I guess his kids are there and in LA. So, he doesn't
Yeah.
want to leave. And although Hawaii's far, it's not as far from LA. So it's, it's an easier, travel to.
I do think it's like a 5-hour flight though, right? From Hawaii to LA? I
Probably.
think it's
I think
yeah.
so,
Yeah,
yes.
probably. Yeah, because yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I've never even been to Hawaii. So,
Me neither.
It's
Laura,
nice.
have
have you
been to
been
I've
there?
been
LA.
there. Yeah,
You've
yeah,
been
I've
there?
been there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there. It's nice. And I enjoyed it, but I really have no great desire to go back. I guess
Go back.
because I'm on the East Coast, so if I want something tropical, I'll just hop on the plane and go to Bahamas and be very happy. Like it's a very it's a very far distance to go. I mean, it's great. Like I think everybody, if you can, should go once, but it
Mhm.
wasn't so wonderful that I'm saving all my pennies to go back. That's
Okay.
just me though.
And it's not a place you'd want to live. Cuz I feel like people that live in Hawaii really love living in Hawaii.
Well, I'm sure they do.
I mean, because I think everything is very expensive there because it is an island and it's
Yeah.
not like they feel
Right.
like they live in
Yeah.
paradise. And like you said, like there's other places there you can go get that same kind of feel that are
I
not.
mean, I'm sure people who live in Bahamas are really
You think
digging
they
living in the Bahamas.
My sister-in-law, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law go 6 months out of the year. They love it.
Yeah, so,
They have property there,
it's
obviously,
still
but
relative kind of a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. They must be really loving it now. They just got back from Bahamas and look at the weather in Jersey.
Yeah,
I haven't talked to her, but
This rain. I'm so over
it's
this
not
Jersey
good.
oh my
rain.
god, it's depressing at this point.
Really
We've
is.
had so much rain and unseasonably cold weather in Jersey in June. It's just depressing at this point.
The
I
problem
don't even care about the temperature because to me, quite honestly, 65 is perfect, although it's too cold for June, but that's my perfect temperature. I just need the fucking sun to come out.
yeah.
I
Mm.
just want to see the sun.
The problem
Yeah.
is going to be is that it's been cool and rainy, and it's gonna go from that to, like, balls ass, I can't take it hot with, like, no little there's, like, no leading into it. It's just you get,
We've lost spring in New Jersey. It goes
yes,
from
we
winter to
lost spring.
summer. We
So,
don't
yeah,
get a
that's
spring.
exactly it.
And you know what that's going to bring when it gets balls ass hot and we're dying from the sun? Weeds.
Mm.
I'm going to be out there weeding.
We're all
Yes,
going to be
weeding the
complaining
garden.
too because we're hot. Now we're going to be
I
complaining
know.
because we're hot.
Yeah,
And
so
it's
buckle up,
humid.
people.
This isn't
We're
going to get
complaining.
any better.
We're going to be complaining then.
And there's that's why there's cha-chas. Told you people about this a long time ago.
I'm so glad you said that. Remind me at the end of the episode
Okay.
Why don't you just talk about it now?
because
you
I don't have
forget.
the card on me.
Okay.
I met a woman at the salon.
Okay.
I was talking about menopause.
Huh?
And she said, "You have to try my product." She and her son, tell me that the website's still open. She and her son started a
Cha-chas
company,
business?
and basically it's Chach Ice and a bra. There's an insert in a bra, you put it in the freezer, and then you put it in your bra and you wear it.
There you see,
I'd
now
have to get up and get the card.
you
But
get
anyway, I
that.
talked to her, I told her we had a podcast. She said she'll come on. They were in Philly this week doing media. They're on the news.
Will she give
Yes.
us
Okay, we'll
samples to
definitely have her
try?
on.
I want the
I
samples to
did
try.
not, you know me, I'm not gonna ask for that. I don't ask
I
for
would have
free
been all
shit.
up
I have a
on that.
problem. I
It's
know you
free
would've.
We
advertising.
know that, Lori.
It's free
I
advertising
don't
for
ask for
her.
free shit. I have a problem.
Okay.
But I don't have the website open, but I will figure it out. But it's basically, and I told her, I said, my girlfriend gets this shit from France. I call it Chach ice. She puts it in her underwear. She's like, yeah, this is the same thing.
She's gonna take your Chach Ice idea, and now she's gonna be selling it in the US.
Yeah. I told you we should be
She
selling
very
it.
well could.
Okay, well,
She and her
listen.
son are doing this together.
Okay.
Damn it.
We
I
should
gotta
do
go
an
get.
episode on menopause. I think we should do an episode on
Absolutely.
menopause.
I think that's a
Absolutely.
great idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm all
Yeah,
for it.
that should be our next, like,
I'm gonna grab my pocketbook and see if I can get the card. But you guys still keep talking about Love Hotel.
all right, we're
Okay.
gonna keep talking amongst ourselves.
Yes.
So Giselle goes out with Theo and they go out to eat, and Giselle like tells him to pull out the chair, which I thought was odd because he was going to do it anyway. But
Anyway,
anyway,
right.
he pulls out the chair. Yeah, they sit down. Then we go back to Ashley and Wale, and they're back at her room and they're looking over the balcony because she's got that huge suite where she gets to see everything that's going on, like
Yeah.
at the resort. And
Ashley, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I was like, damn, look at her view.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
They had a great view there. And then we see Shannon and Earl go back to her presidential suite, and they are doing the Earl the Pearl dance. I honestly, I thought that was hysterical.
I did
When
too.
when Earl's trying to show Shannon how to do it, but Shannon knows how to do it better. I was like, oh
Uh-huh.
my gosh,
That's great.
Shannon is so funny. I loved it. I really did.
Yeah,
Okay, did you get the card?
I did.
Okay.
It's called The Healing Bras. So it's www.thehealingbras.com. And her name is Debbie Sutton. And her card is so cute. It says co-founder and Troy's mom. Because Troy is her son. And that's who she has the business with.
That's
That's
so
cute.
cute.
Yep. It says, let me say, comfortable, no wire bra, insertable, reusable therapeutic gel pads,
Nice.
microwavable safe for warm therapy, freezer refrigerator safe for cool therapy, proven discomfort relief, patent approved. Oh Jesus, I just dropped
Okay.
the card. So good thing I just finished reading everything.
That would be really nice for women who are, stopping breastfeeding too, because that's a big problem. Like, you gotta put ice on those
Oh
puppies.
my God, you're absolutely right. It was like somebody was stabbing me in my boobs
So there
when
you
they
go.
I forget what they call it.
Yeah, when you have to let your milk dry up and you have to stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking torture.
Mhm. So
Torture.
there you go.
Yeah, I never even thought of that.
Yeah. So when they're in that presidential suite, he kinda admits his wrongdoing, but still no apology. Still.
Wait, Earl didn't apologize?
Not yet. When
Well,
they're he
I mean, he
admits
does. Yeah, but yeah.
eventually he does, but
Yeah.
he doesn't apologize until Shannon apologizes. He starts going on about how all this shit he's gone through and blah, 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 and Shannon says, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then he says he's sorry. And I was thinking to myself, "Something wrong here."
Yeah.
That is interesting. Because I mean,
Mhm.
at this point, especially if you're trying to move on, just apologize.
Yeah, just it should
You
have been
clearly knew you were wrong because
right.
literally nobody stuck up for you.
Right, and
Yes.
it should have been at the very beginning when they first sat together on the couch, when it first went down. It shouldn't have
Yes.
taken this long, and it shouldn't have taken her apologizing to him for him then to apologize to her.
Right. Right. And I thought the odd thing about that whole thing was when they were in the presidential suite, he brings up that he got pictures from his friend who lives in St. Pete about, I guess the condition of it, and letting her like know that, there's places that he'll never be able to go to again. To me, he's like, now he's looking for even more sympathy.
Yeah, I agree.
Like flipping it like that. What? Why are you bringing this up now?
Yeah, because honestly, like you being upset about your house, I mean, like I just always think of Sandy because of what could have been. Like, we all clearly got very, very lucky with Sandy. Good, very many friends of ours were not so lucky. Anybody who lived on the water.
My parents.
But yeah, exactly.
My parents were
So,
not lucky.
I mean, obviously, something happens to your house. Of course, you're devastated. But your local restaurant, I mean, I know you're upset for the owner, you're upset for them, of sure, but to be like, I'll never get to go there again, like,
Yeah.
that's a stretch.
I thought so too. And that's
Yeah.
when, Shannon says, listen, I get that, this was traumatic, but I can't have a day like this again. We can't do this again. Which I was glad she said that because the way he was starting it was like, what?
Yeah.
She does appreciate the apology toward, when he does finally do it. Luann's back in her suite with James. And again, I just wanted to vomit, to be quite honest with you, with the foot massage and the oils and all their
And the
little
squished flowers in
sexcapades.
there, and ugh, it was nasty.
Really? Like, do
Sorry.
we need that? Do we need to
No.
see that?
I think, like, if it was Jason Momoa, okay, I'll watch that.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to watch James doing it.
No,
No.
no, no.
LL Cool J,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark
maybe.
We're good.
Wahlberg.
We're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, not James.
no, no. And then we see Giselle and Theo they're now on the couch and they're eating dessert. And Giselle is looking forward to all the dessert spots that they can go to in New York because that's where he lives. And he starts telling her that he had made a cake for I think it was for his daughter for her birthday. I was actually very impressed with the looks of that cake.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was
Well,
like,
the
oh
fact
my,
that he made the rubber duck out of fondant, I
yeah,
Absolutely.
mean, that's not easy, and it really
No,
looked like a rubber duck.
it
I
did.
know. I know. Um, Giselle likes the fact that, and I like that she admitted this, that the fact that Theo has kids that are younger and that, although she is an empty nester, she does her own thing and Phil does his own thing. She likes the thought of, feeling utilized by a child, like still being needed, like having someone.
It like extending her motherhood for a little while.
Right.
Yes. Listen,
Totally understandable.
I totally
Absolutely.
got that. And I like that she admitted it. I really do.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wale asks Ashley what the status is of her relationship with her ex-husband because I guess before he got there, he had no idea. And I guess word got out that she was still married. So he had looked her up a little bit. Well, it's just called Google. And
And he found Michael Darby.
he found Michael Darby and
And
he
it was
was
probably
very
like,
surprised.
"Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa." First of all, I'm
He's like, this can't be right. There's got to be another Michael Darby.
yeah, because he's saying to himself, "First of all, I get here and now I gotta compete with, like, this 61-year-old white guy," and he knew nothing about Michael Darby, and then he sees that and he's like and then she's trying to
I
she's
really
trying to
do
tell
have
him
to compete.
right, she's trying to tell him, "I don't have a type," and Wale's probably like, "No, girl, you got a type. You got a
Old,
type.
white, weird people.
Yeah, you got a type." I feel like from some of the comments he's made, I feel like he's very conservative. Like a very
Wale?
conservative yeah, like a very conservative he's made some comments about, like, outfits that she's worn, like, in public, like, you know, I just think he's a very conservative man, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I just
No,
don't
like
res
reserved. He's
yeah,
reserved. Yeah.
reserved. I don't think that they necessarily mesh well.
No, in that respect, I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, she literally puts it all out there.
Yes.
I mean, that dress, she was pretty much wearing a pasty on her one, like the starfish on her one,
Right,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
y-
Wale was like, "Whoa, okay. That's how we're gonna
I got to say
roll."
this. Giselle gets a lot of heat for her fashion on Real Housewives of Potomac. She has dressed very nicely on this show,
she's a class act in her.
but she gets a lot of heat on Potomac for the way she dresses, especially at the reunions. It's like, who styled you for this? They should be fired immediately. But she's looked very good this whole time on Love Hotel.
I agree. I agree with that. I actually love the way Shannon looked too. I liked all of Shannon's outfits, but I like the way Shannon dresses. Shannon is also very conservative,
She's
Mhm.
very conservative.
but listen, it works for her. I like the way that Shannon dresses.
Well, she's 61, so, I mean, really, what is she gonna do? She's not gonna have her tits hanging out, like,
Excuse me, Luann. I mean, well, she's
well,
58
yeah,
or
but come on,
57.
Luann's body, I
It
mean, I if
Yeah.
I had Luann's body, I would be walking around naked.
No, I would too. I would too.
Yeah. I mean, it's
It is
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
And Ashley.
Yes, totally
Yes.
unbelievable.
So,
So
Ashley says to Wale that she would like a little more passion from him.
mhm.
So I thought that was pretty telling, right?
Yeah, but do you think he gave it to her? Because then all of a sudden he was leaving her room.
Well,
Do you think
listen,
they got busy?
I don't no, no,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
that they
so.
did.
I don't
No.
think they got busy either.
No, I don't think that they did, but I don't think that that's who Wale is.
No,
Right, I
I
agree with that.
I don't think that's who he is.
and I think too that he kinda saw the writing on the wall that this was not, so he was probably thinking to himself, "Well, why am I gonna get busy with her and give a little piece of myself to her if
Right.
it's not gonna
Yeah,
pan out to be anything?" I don't think he's like
A
a
player.
one-nighter guy. Yeah, he's not a player.
Right.
right.
Earl had a special skip in his step the next day though, didn't he?
He did.
I
Okay,
think Earl and Shannon got busy.
and again, I could do without Ashley's comment that Earl used his tongue to part the pink sea. I don't need to know.
Yeah,
I don't wanna know. I don't want that
yeah.
visual in my head.
Yeah, that's how Ashley rolls though.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
she puts it all out there,
Yep.
whether you want it or not.
Oof.
So it's the final checkout day and it's the next morning and we see James is with Luann outside and Shannon and Earl. Ashley's going to brunch with Ralph now. Ralph asks, how do we discuss the elephant in the room? And Ashley says, well, while I did not spend the night last night, she said that they really did have a fun date, but she feels like, it's such a big decision for her to make today. Ashley asked Ralph if he thinks that this is a place that, that they could be in a healthy, relationship. Ralph says, yeah, but are you ready? And Ashley says, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, there's a situation where I'm still legally married. Is that a problem? And Ralph said, no. Not, it's not a problem for him. So I thought that was a little odd. Like, it's the final day, and now we're bringing it up that she's still legally married. Like, why? Like, why? Why did this come out now?
I mean, and by the way, what are because Wale she asked Wale the same thing, and he said no. What are they going to say? Yes, that's a problem. All right, well,
Yeah.
go home.
Yeah. But I
Right.
don't even know, like,
I mean, really, what are they going to say?
right. And why bring
Fucking
it up
true.
now? Like, why bring this up on the last day? Like, that should have been something, if you're going to talk about it in the beginning,
Right.
right? It did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of the things they did on this were just a little wacky to me. So all the ladies are then sitting in the couch, and Joel comes out and he's talking to them. He asks Luann, what happened with James, and she says, "Well, the lady doesn't kiss and tell, but I can tell you that James is packing." Well, that pretty much is kissing and telling, Luann. I mean, seriously?
Oh my God.
Ashley says she's torn right now. Ralph is very passionate. He likes to travel. Um, while he's still building his life, is very successful and still wants to have children. So, she's not really sure, where she's gonna, stand with this. Giselle says that she did give Phil a kiss.
Ashley almost fell off the couch when Giselle said that.
I know, I know. But she doesn't want to live her future with drama. And Phil would give her not 1 ounce of drama, which I totally agree with. Like I said, I think Phil would be her wingman. I think they would
Her
be
gay
like,
best friend.
Yeah,
I was not
exactly.
gonna say that. I was not saying that.
Kelly said it. Kelly said it.
I think they would be very good friends. I think she found a new good friend.
But the ladies are right. They're like, but no drama. Like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like Giselle likes a bad boy. Giselle likes a little bit of, a little bit of flavor.
But Giselle said, needs to be who I want to have sex with.
Absolutely.
She does say that.
Yeah. I don't think she wants to have sex with either one of them.
Well, I think you may be right. Shannon's glad that she was able to get to, a better place with Earl. Like, at least they didn't end it, on that bad note. But, she wants to be careful not to lead him on, which I thought, listen, Shannon, I don't think you're leading him on. I think you've been more than kind to him. Luann says that her life is in New York and James' life is in Hawaii. Well, this is when actually, this is after they all sit on the couch, and then Joel brings the men to them individually. And Joel brings to Luann James, and James says that she would like him to check out of the Love Hotel with her, and that she likes that he's not controlling like the other men in her life, and that they're committed to try and make it work, even though he's in Hawaii and she's in New York.
Mhm.
Then we see Giselle, and she's got 2 men to make a decision about. She said that she's given this decision a lot of thought, and she wants to do what works best for her life and her lifestyle. She feels like her and Phil are in different moments in their lives. Like, he is in show mode, and she's still in the hustling and bustling mode. I do agree about, I do
Yeah.
agree about that. Giselle says to Theo that she likes her quirkiness and his, like, sparkiness, that, like, she feels like this guy's interesting.
And let's face it, logistically, Theo fits better. He's
Yes.
in what, New York?
He's in New York, yes. He's
Yeah.
in New York, she's in in
So it's like
Potomac. Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah, train ride. It's a 4-hour train
Yeah.
ride, right? So she says to Phil that she's not gonna ask him to, that they can have a friendship, but she's going to ask Theo to check out of the Love Hotel with her. Okay. I can see how she came to that decision. Then we see Shannon's with Earl, and she says that before he gets there, that she is comfortable leaving the Love Hotel alone. Like, she doesn't feel like she needs to have anyone with her. I don't know why she says that, because then she does ask him to check out
Right.
with
She
her.
says he is her person and asks
Right.
him to check out of the hotel with her. But I
Right.
guess she felt like, I don't have to, I don't have to do this. I want to do this.
Okay. Well, nobody had
Like,
to
who are you
do it.
trying to convince, Shannon? Us or you?
Yeah,
I think it was us. I think she was trying to convince us.
I think she was. We're all set, Shannon. Do what you got to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. And then Joel brings out for Ashley, and Wale is the first one to come out. And he says that, Wale's chemistry and Ashley's from the very beginning. And they all admit to that. Like, you could see that they definitely had chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, they were very flirtatious.
They really were. And Ashley says, like, Wale, you're a really wonderful person, but she's not going to check out of the Love Hotel with him. And then he says, well, I guess, he knew this was coming, so he wrote her a final note. And then she reads the note, and it basically says, although I didn't get your vote, I'm glad I got a piece of your heart. And this is where we part. I'm glad you found someone that captures your entire heart. And then when she reads it, she like sighs and is like, "Oh, like, did I make the right choice?" kind of sigh. And like, he's like, what's happening right now? And she's like, she didn't say anything when he said that. And he said that, he's at peace with her answer. And then in his confessional, I like that he said, like, Ashley chose Europe, over Nigeria, and he says, I tried, to his people. Like, I tried to get her, but
right.
she
Is
just,
Ralph European, by the way?
Well, he's
I think
white.
he is.
It's
Yeah.
basically white.
Yeah.
Basically white.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
European?
Well,
No, but he's white. Instead of Wale saying he's white, he said he's European.
right.
Oh.
Then Ashley gets to see Ralph, and she tells Ralph that she's always felt something with him. She says that she would like to ask him to check out of the Love Hotel with her.
Listen, Ralph just wants to get laid by a young chippy like Ashley.
Yeah, buddy.
I think that's the case. I definitely think that's the case. Then we see, across the screen, Giselle and Theo made plans to meet in New York City for Halloween, but plans never came together because Theo lost his phone. What?
Weird.
That's so weird. But Giselle is still talking to Phil and has plans to visit him in Bel Air. She's considering taking him and his Rolls Royce for another spin. So after filming, Shannon visited Earl. No, Earl visited Shannon in Orange County, and they spent some time together. But after a couple months, Shannon realized that Earl was not the man for her. So
Didn't she go see him at some point in
I
Georgia?
believe so.
Did she?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
believe
she-
that's what
she
it
did.
said.
Okay, so she visited
So it
him.
must have lasted a couple of months if they.
Yeah, it did
Went
say a
back and
couple
forth.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so then that didn't work.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes.
Mm.
And then to Ashley's surprise, Ralph wasn't the right daddy to fix her daddy's issues. Their relationship fizzled outside of the Love Hotel.
Surprise,
But
surprise.
Wale may have checked out of the hotel, but he hasn't checked out of the Ashley verse. So they showed the text messages. It just seems like he said he's checking in with her every, his 3-month check-in, and she said
Yeah.
that I don't think that they've met up. I don't. I
No,
think
I
he's
No.
don't
just
think
trying
so.
to checking in. I think he's smart and
Yes.
which, and Luann and James are still very much in love and continue to make time for each other in spite of the distance. And then we see that she's on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
Her and
With
Joel.
Joel,
I know.
the host of the show. Now, this is what I'm thinking because I'm thinking somebody has to ask him about what he said about Shannon,
I'm
right?
thinking that too.
Okay, so they didn't. But this is
No,
what I'm
I know.
thinking. He must have been on Watch What Happens Live once before. While Love Hotel has been
He has not.
how could they have not asked him? I mean, this is preposterous.
I don't
He
know.
had
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
have to look it up.
We're gonna have to look it up because when I saw that he was on, I'm like, I have to see this. Andy has to ask him about Shannon. He
Right.
has to. And when he didn't ask him, honestly, I'll be honest with you, Kelly, I kind of thought the same thing. Was he on and they already asked him this? I'm like, but how? I would have seen it.
I know.
I didn't see
Now,
it.
when he said what he said about Shannon, it came out way before Love Hotel aired.
Right.
So he could have been on and asked about it before Love Hotel was airing, and we missed it. But we're going to have to find
You're
out
going to have
because
to look that one up.
otherwise, why would Andy have not asked him?
I
I mean,
totally
come
agree.
on.
I totally agree because I was annoyed. I was aggravated.
Mhm.
I was aggravated.
Unless it was all publicity stunt for the show.
No.
It could have
But
been, but
Wendy
I'll
always
tell you
says
what.
no.
I do
But
always say no because
Shannon's reaction on Watch What Happens Live Shannon's reaction to it was like, listen, I've been on Bravo for a long time. If I'm that horrible of a person, of a drunk, I did this, I did that. Why would they ask me to be on another show? Why would they keep me on OC? If I'm that difficult to work with, she addressed it. If she didn't address it, I agree with you. It could have been for the show.
Now, the reason I don't think it's for the show is one, like you said, all the women backed her. And why
Yeah.
would Joel allow them to ruin his reputation? Because he's the one whose reputation was ruined, not her.
Right.
He's
Right.
the one who apologized and had to take it down.
Yeah, but
not
look,
her.
he's still on Watch What Happens Live, and
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so.
I don't. In this particular situation, I don't think it was for the show, just because based on her reaction. But with Bravo, you never know.
I mean, I guess
Snakes in
anything's
the grass.
possible.
Snakes in the grass.
They're all snakes in the grass.
Yeah.
Luann does admit that, her and James are still seeing each other. I thought it was so funny when she says it's easier to get to Paris than it is to Hawaii. Well, then meet him in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Meet him in Paris.
So they meet in Santa Monica because
Yes.
I think that's what she said, because Hawaii's another 5-hour flight from California. So she's got to fly to California and then to Hawaii.
Right.
So at least they meet up in Santa Monica. Now, Wendy, did you see where Andy asked Joel, on a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised were you to learn that Lindsay and Turner are only co-parenting? And I don't even know what his answer was, but I was thinking, is that the big bombshell they were talking? Is that what we were supposed to be so shocked about with Summer House?
I think that's what the big bombshell was, but that's not
Who
a big
fucking
bombshell.
cares?
I know.
Nobody
I know.
cares.
I know. I totally agree.
Joel said Kyle Richards is the most overrated housewife. I was praying he was going to say Teresa, but the stars were not aligned for me. But Kyle Richards was a pretty shocking one, too.
I was surprised. He also said he asked Joel to say 3 nice things about Shannon, and he came up with them like that.
He did.
I don't remember what they were, but they were.
She's a legend. She's an icon, and she never looked better than she did when she was on Love Hotel.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even flinch to come up with those 3 things.
That's why I think they must have addressed it before. Because why would Andy ask him that if they never had the first conversation?
I don't know.
Any listeners out there, please tell us.
Yeah, we need to know. We're going to have to just look it up. I mean, we do have this thing. It's called Google. We can use it. It's free.
You can do the Google thing.
How about Andy and Luann about her body count and Sonia's?
Oh my God, that was so funny. believe he asked the countess that. Like, what kind of you don't ask the countess that. I would have not
Ask
answered it.
anybody their body count.
I
That is-
agree. But she had
that
no
is
problem. She had no problem answering it. Throwing
She
Sonia
had
under the
no-
bus.
She's like Sonia. Sonia has a higher body count.
Funny.
I thought it was
Yeah.
so funny that, we heard Luann said she wants to be the host of the next Love Hotel, and she was sitting right there next to Joel. That would have been her chance to, like, put it out there in the universe. I was really
You're right.
hoping she did. I really was.
I don't think this guy's coming back. I found him very annoying. Did anybody
Very
else?
annoying. Very
I
annoying.
thought it was I thought it
Very
was
annoying.
horrible. Horrible. I didn't like him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not a fan.
No. So hopefully it will be Luann. Did you hear that Paige was on Love Island?
I saw something about that. Or she's supposed to be on.
She was
something.
on as part of a challenge, like she announced a challenge or something. And the person who told me about it said she was very boring and she left in the middle of a challenge.
Why?
So it was, I don't know.
That's interesting.
But I'm like, are they going to try to make Paige like the new Ariana? You know what I mean? Like Ariana got cheated on and broke up with her boyfriend and now she's everywhere. Which
Mhm.
is
Listen,
good for her. But, Paige
I
has
think
a lot going on. Like,
she is a
let's not
lot. Yeah.
try to make her the new host of Love Island, please.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know, though, but anything's possible.
Anything's
Luann
possible.
did address the rumors about her ring that she's been seen wearing on her wedding ring finger. It is an aquamarine, and it was given to her by another suitor.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy asked, does James have a problem with that? And she said no. James is okay for her to date. Like he said, I'm in New York and he's in Hawaii, that if she wants to date, that's fine. Like when I see you, I love you. She even said she loves James.
Yeah, she said it.
So what they have going works for them. I mean,
So-
listen, it's true.
well,
He's
so
in
what
Hawaii.
hap-
She's in New York.
Right, but so what happened to Don't Touch Her, She's My Girlfriend?
Right.
You know
Well,
what I'm
that's only on
saying?
Love Hotel.
Yeah, that's
on
only
Love
on Love
Hotel.
Hotel. That's only when the cameras are rolling. Who knows with it all?
Exactly. It was
Full
for the
of shit
cameras.
anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did enjoy this. I would like it. I would like another season of it. I would like to get different people, and I would like Luann to host it. That's what I would like. If they're going to do it again, Bravo, please consider Luann hosting it. Sorry, Joel.
Yes.
No more
Yeah,
Joel.
we're not into it, Joel.
No.
Yeah.
Bye. Take you and your Speedo and leave.
The We Wine Whenever ladies have spoken.
Yes.
Yes, we have. It's official.
Yeah.
It's official.
It's official.
Joel's fired.
All right. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Please give us 5-star reviews and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.